This might be one of the most important videos that I record for the future of digital advertising, specifically search, within the next decade. What's going on, everybody? David Feldman-Makrias. And if you're looking at my screen right now, which you probably are, you most likely found this video on YouTube. Okay? Most likely. Unless you're on another platform that I posted. This is the YouTube channel. This is where we talk about making the difference for car dealers, local businesses, e-commerce brands, and beyond. And the reason I bring this up is because I look at YouTube as well to get educated about our digital advertising future, about the world, just about everything. So, it's one of the primary sources of information that I personally use, and a lot of other people do too, including you possibly. So, with that being said, I want to show you some clips of one of my mentors. He doesn't even know he's my mentor. His name is Kasim Aslam. He was the owner of Solutions 8, one of the best Google Ads agencies in the world. They focused on e-commerce mostly, and we got a lot of our DDM prowess from what he has to say. And he's got a lot to say now that he had a big exit from Solutions 8. He's got a lot to say about LLMs, large language models, AI search, artificial intelligence search, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude. Let's take a look and take a listen to what he's got to say, and then I'm going to break it down for you even further, what that means, why you should be excited, so on and so forth. Let's do it right now. All right, here we go.
People don't yet understand how LLMs are going to be delivering content. It's going to be more granular and more contextualized and more personalized than any other content delivery mechanism humanity has ever known, including person-to-person.
That's crazy.
Which is actually really exciting for small businesses and small marketers.
I'm going to pause it there. So he's talking about LLMs. He's talking about why it's going to change everything and why it's going to be different. He's talking about that related to AI, and the cool part that I really like, I'm going to back it up.
That's crazy.
Which is actually really exciting for small businesses and small marketers.
Boom. I tried to cut it where that small marketer subtitle was, but it's not. For small businesses and small marketers, you're looking at a small business owner. Most of the people I talk to in this channel are small business owners, okay? There's also small, medium business owners. Car dealers are medium-sized business owners as well, so I should take that into account. But we're not talking about massive corporations with thousands of employees. We're talking about small to medium-sized business owners that and marketing agencies that have the personalized, unique touch. Why? Because we're going to be faster and more nimble to dance in this AI field, so let's keep going.
The larger the organization gets, the harder it's going to be for them to play the AEO game, because it's not a game of scale, it's a game of expertise and granularity.
Another stuff to break down. He mentioned AEO. I think he's talking about answer engine optimization. Some people could define it too as artificial intelligence engine optimization, right? It's usually answer engine optimization. It's somewhat synonymous right now with GEO, which is generative engine optimization. AIO is another one, but that's really about AI overviews. So there's a lot of these acronyms, and there's not really a standard. He's using AEO. It's similar to SEO. Who knows what the standard acronym is going to be, but just wanted to break that down.
I got to see more ad spend than most humans ever will or even know exists. And when you're spending money on other people's behalf, gosh, do you learn lessons, man. It led me to the realization and the thesis that if you own the traffic, you own the business.
If you own the traffic, you own the business. If you own the traffic, you own the business. If you own the traffic, you own the business. So if you control the traffic of a specific niche, of a specific sector, you will own that market. That's essentially what he's trying to say. So, that's the first video, right? And this is an hour and 20 minutes. And I pretty much watched all of it. It was 2 months ago at this time. It's by Marketing Misfits. I don't really look at their channel. They have a low amount of subscribers, but it's actually probably great because that's where usually you get the best content, best experience. Is that like 1,000 subscriber threshold where they're not too big, but they're big enough that they have some whatever. So let's take you to the chapters of in this hour-long video of Kasim talking about some of the real reasons why this is so important. And I've actually hand selected and hand picked the best sections. So let's get into it. All right, so check this out. Kind of an important acronym. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, it changed, it should, and now I'm in your network, so I'll probably be in the top 5. But then if somebody who's 2 standard deviations away and 3 standard deviations, so we came up with an acronym. And when I say we, Julian, who works for me, who I mentioned earlier, came up with the acronym BRAIN, BRAIN. And these are the 5 key performance indicators for ranking on LLMs. B is brand,
Brand,
R is relevance, A is
relevance,
authority, I is indexing, and
index.
N right now is a placeholder, to be honest with you. It came from one of our mastermind members. It's nuance, and we
Let me pause that right there. Brain. B is brand. R is relevance. A is authority. I is indexing. N is nuance. Let's watch him explain what that means.
might change that, we might not, because it means a lot of things. But you need to have an established brand that the LLMs trust. And when I say brand, by the way, I'm not talking about a corporate brand. I'm talking about you as a person or identifiable online in a way that allows it to say like, oh, this is Kevin's Facebook, this is Kevin's LinkedIn, this is Kevin's website. That's your brand.
That is much different. And I can honestly say from our company's YouTube success and how we've been able to be found on search in the last, couple of years, this is a big deal. Brand, it's not necessarily a company corporate brand, it's an individual or personal brand. So we have to figure out how that actually correlates to car dealers moving forward as a small business. How do we do that? Does that mean we have a spokesperson? Does that mean we have a representative or a mascot that actually brands the store? So there's one singular entity that actually is associated with the store. Maybe that's what brand is. We'll have to explore more, but let's listen to what he has to say.
And then relevance is your relevance to me. And
relevance, your relevance to me. What he goes on to say is LLMs, each one has a different relevance. Or each one has a different model, but their answers distinguish between relevance to you. So if I build a history in ChatGPT and Kasim builds a history in ChatGPT, and we both go search for what's the best Ford dealership to serve my needs, we're going to get 2 different answers, even if we're in the same location. We're going to get 2 different answers in the same location, right? More than likely. Even if with the same question in the same location using the same LLM, let's say it's ChatGPT, we're going to get 2 different answers because it's based on relevancy of the individual and their chat. It's interesting.
authority is how many, and the most important, when you want to know one of the craziest needle movers for authority, how often people are mentioning you in social comments.
That's super interesting. Authority, how often people are mentioning you in social comments. He goes on later to talk about Reddit. He talks about how Reddit, LLMs love it because it's a social platform where there's a lot of social activity. Twitter could be good for this too. Of course, Facebook and Instagram and those as well. But, those are more commoditized for other types of advertising purposes. Reddit, even though there's Reddit ads and things like that, it's just a little more pure when it comes to people stating what they really feel. So social comments across the web, and it's not limited to any one platform. So large language models pick up social comments very, very distinguishably.
ChatGPT has delivered TikTok comments as results. It wants to know what the social chatter looks like. It loves things like Ask and Quora.
So I'm going to put this for car dealers and really any business. Posting on TikTok doesn't necessarily mean anything. Virality could be a good thing, but it's usually one of those big spikes and then it just comes down. regular comments on TikTok, or regular comments answering questions that are really important for people to know and serving them, that is what's going to move the needle. Okay? That's what that is. So just if you hear that and go, oh, we got to post on TikTok 3 times a day. No, that's not what we're saying. You have to post things that generate activity and comments that are meaningful. That's what we're saying.
And Thumbtack, it likes where people are talking to people, loves Reddit. Reddit just became one of the most valuable repositories of content in existence.
Reddit.
So brand, relevance, authority, indexing, and things like schema markup, which we've talked about a little bit offline.
Schema markup. And he goes on talking about link building. We've heard of links, backlinks. That was kind of like the big thing for SEO. Backlinks for SEO is like schema markup for LLMs. You have to get more granular with schema markup. It can't just be templated, and it shouldn't be just, out of the box. It should be hard coded. That's what he goes to say.
Schema is the #1 technical mover for AEO.
Number
When
one.
we look at, I have at this point tens of millions of data points over the course of 8 months that we've collected, and link building to SEO is schema to AEO. And it can't be Java-led schema. It has to be hard-coded schema, and which kind of makes sense that the LLMs would really love schema, because schema really is just what, like it's a table of contents for your website, for your digital presence.
Yep.
And then nuance is kind of a catch-all phrase that just refers to the fact that everything's going to be a little different. If you're searching and you're a Republican and I'm searching and I'm a Democrat, we're going to get different, and which kind of heralds back to relevance, I guess. But it's so hyper-specific. That's a
nuance. It's like that's the room for the buffer. So that's the really important things, right? We're going to expand more upon this video. I wanted to show you this clip. There's one more clip that I want to show you, but it's kind of cool. Brand, relevance, authoritativeness or authority, indexing, and nuance, right? Those are really, really cool, and that's what we have to keep in our head across all advertising and all marketing. More to come.